Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. You're listening to Gunslingers, brought to you from behind the Iron Curtain on Radio Free California. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Gunslinger Radio Raw.
The Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
Radio Network.
Heading on towards 6 years of doing this. Can you believe that? You just said we hit another milestone.
I just signed the new contract for the second hour, which we are coming on a full year of being on for 2 hours already.
What do you think of that?
Power pack.
Man, time just goes by. I tell you, I'm 2 more weeks and I'm ready to start 2024.
It's almost right around the corner, right?
Have you guys write 2025 down yet? Because that's a little bit jarring. We're back to the where's my flying car?
Yeah, my Jetsons car.
Right.
Okay, well, welcome to Gunslingers. I'm Jeff the Gunslinger. We got Mark and we get Jimmy and holy cow, it has been a week, folks. For those of you who own a television, there's not much I can tell you because you already know. It's 24 hours a day, 365 minutes an hour, whatever you want to call it.
All day, every day.
TV loves a tragic story, and of course,
we got one.
Yeah, Southern California, most of it has been on fire. Jimmy and I have been lucky because we live in the Inland Empire, where we have not really been bothered
this
yet.
This year. Remember last year?
Yeah,
we were ablaze for the most part.
And through the summer, my place in Big Bear was threatened mightily for weeks at a time. So we all understand, and of course our heart goes out to everybody who's lost even
a lot of people.
Small things, and I can't even imagine to lose your entire home. It's just got to be
all the memories, all the paperwork, everything. There's no good part.
And insurance can't replace 95% of that.
No, and much of the insurance policies have gone missing
because of restrictive California's policies.
People are going to be without for a very long time. So our prayers and our thoughts.
And hopefully, once we get a president in there that
cares,
actually does things straight, we'll find out because something stinks in this wood pile.
Oh, yes.
Well, you make a point. You accidentally made a point earlier about how mercifully we weren't touched by this time, but boy, last year. This happens every year. Mm-hmm. You don't get to be surprised by this. Nope, and if you are a political official charged with the responsibility of caring for security, fire, the other things that we have government do for us, right? Mm. You know this is going to happen, and so you would theoretically put long-term policies in place. You'd have adequate reservoirs. You'd make sure that you had fire hydrants that worked and things like that. All of which the current office holders, who are mostly box tickers apparently, we're asleep at the switch.
The mayor of L.A. was in Africa at an inauguration for a president of some podunk little country there, yet she's not going to our president's inauguration, so that's fun. And then, of course, she
jumped on the 18th flight out.
Yeah, $17.6 million she took away from the LAFD
firefighters.
Yeah, and of course they fired innumerable amounts of.
The ones that wouldn't take the jab?
Yeah, the guys that wouldn't take the stupid shot. And I mean, it just goes on and on.
And you have the assistant fire chief literally on video. How could you let this thing out there going, yeah, well, if we're looking for people who resemble the people who need help, and if they're not big enough to get you or your husband out, well, he's just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Oh, how heartbreaking.
I mean, it would be funny if it wasn't so tragic.
And if we weren't paying $500,000 of salary to a person.
Yeah, and of course our esteemed governor up in Sacramento, he's demolished 4 dams. I mean, it just goes on and on. The stupidity. You can go, like my place in Big Bear, we're on a hill, we overlook the lake. It's beautiful. But do you know that they will not allow us to clean past 15 feet? We have to be clear for 15 feet, but we can't go past that. So all the pine needles, they're funny, these pine needles. They get old and they dry out, they turn brown, and they fall off the tree. And where do they fall? Onto the ground. It is literally 2 feet thick. of pine needles. Can you imagine how fast that would go up if anything?
I was just
Remember
reading
them old
an
timey
article.
cigarette lighters?
I was just reading an article about the Getty Museum, mercifully, with its $1.5 billion worth of art, did not burn down. And what kind of magical mystery power do they have there? What was the magic that saved them? They did a thing which is unimaginable.
Do tell.
They cleared away the brush.
Good.
Yeah, go figure.
And you're telling me that you can't.
You get this. There's a tree about 15, 20 yards behind my place in Big Bear. This tree's got to be 40 feet tall if it's an inch. It's got to be, what is that in circumference? Two basketballs, the 3 basketballs put together.
least, yes.
It's dead. It's on the side. It's laying down. The roots are out of the ground. It's dead. It's been there for years, and we can't touch it.
Can't touch it. It is out of your
It's dead,
jurisdiction.
and nobody will touch it. What does a dead tree do again?
Become fuel.
Potential firewood.
And people wonder, why.
This and this is just another thing that we've had disasters all throughout this country in the last year or so, like have been devastating, and we have not enough funds to make sure these people are safe in any of these places, and that's a huge tell of the previous regime that was in how much they care about you folks.
Well,
So
they're
Sending
they're
plenty of
busy,
money.
sending it to
Faraway places.
the Ukraine, where shockingly 80% of it's funneled back here.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then I'm sure it's going to offshore accounts.
So just
Welcome to California.
welcome to.
But we're not here to talk politics. By God.
Absolutely
We're talking
not. This is
public-
Gunslingers.
Can we talk about?
We do fun with guns, and
Can we talk about looters?
Oh,
Because the back door to all of this is people going through the neighborhoods which have been burned out, where people have been forced to evacuate, and helping themselves to your belongings.
or what's left of them.
Let's have a conversation about that later, because that might somehow turn firearms related.
It's just amazing, isn't it, folks? I mean, the stupidity that runs California is
heartbreaking. It really is.
well. It's and like I said, it would be funny if it wasn't so tragic.
Right.
And these people should not be in charge of anything.
Let alone people's lives.
I mean, these guys can't even. They couldn't even run a 7-Eleven.
they can barely run the
Yep.
refrigerator.
And they're running, what is it, the 7th biggest economy in the world?
Fifth largest on
Fifth
Earth in the state of California, largest France, if you can imagine that.
And they've managed to ruin that along with everything else.
Some of the biggest debt in the world as well. So welcome.
And speaking of that, let's get to Richard at the airport. It's always a seamless segue to Richard.
Write it on in,
Richard,
baby.
how are you?
Good evening, you hyper-accurate gunslinger.
Thank you kindly.
We want to be.
What's going on, Richard?
Want to know how does the choker affect the shotgun gauge?
Well, you mean how does it the
choke.
shot? Yeah, the choke. How does it affect the shot? The pellets that are leaving the barrel. Well, it literally exactly what it says. It chokes it down.
Yep.
You can have there's. Oh man, there used to be only a couple.
There are about 5 different commonly used.
Yeah.
Each is a constriction. That's it.
Full mod, improved cylinder,
cylinder.
cylinder bore, skeet. Now, yeah, there's 5 or 6, but what they do is basically exactly what it sounds like. It chokes it to a point. If you want full, because you need to get a lot of your shot way out there. If you've got a duck or a goose that's way out in the yonder, then you need that thing to stay together as long as possible, and so you get a full choke or an extra full now, and that will hold it together a lot longer. And it screws in. You can use a quarter.
It's typically the last inch or so of barrel that just constricts the shot pattern. That's all.
Yep, it'll
Constricting your pattern.
very simple and easy answer.
All right.
Okay, got a joke for us tonight, Richard?
Yeah, now you're a horseman. What's the difference between the horseshoes on a male horse and those on a female horse?
The heel.
I don't know. What is it?
On the female horse, they're high heels.
There you go. You got it. You got it.
All right, Richard, as always, thanks, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Richard. God bless
All right,
you.
have a good one.
Take care.
That Richard always horsing around.
Oh.
I wish he would bridle himself.
Oh,
Nay, good
he is
sir,
a horse of another
nay.
color.
Is it going to rain? Come on.
Okay, you know what? Ooh, we got David Essex in the background there. We're gonna go to a quick break, and then when we get back, we got Rick from the CRPA.
The boys are back in town.
Yeah, he's gonna give us the ups and downs of Excremento. We'll be back right after this.
Yes, sir.
Hey, it's Jeff from Gunslinger's Gun Shop and Auction. I believe in every American's right to bear arms, to protect themselves and their family. And I also believe in gun safety and getting the best possible advice on firearms. So if you want to buy or sell pistols or rifles or purchase firearms and ammo and supplies, or learn what's the best firearm for you to buy, then
Was live.
Gunslinger.com is the place to go. My staff and I have decades of experience and knowledge. We'll give you great advice on your firearms and informed insights on what firearms to purchase. Plus, Gunslinger does a huge auction several times a year. Our next auction is February 1st, where you can bid on incredible pistols, rifles, art, and collectibles in person, online, by phone, or with absentee bids. Go to Gunslinger Auction.
The guy that bought almost all those Yadros, all those Yadros. And the Gunslingers right here on
The Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
That's right. We are on from San Diego to San Francisco, from LA to Phoenix to Vegas. And just because of all that, we're going to get Rick from the CRPA.
Oh, yeah.
Blanketing the West.
How are you, Rick?
Yeah, that was quite the intro there.
Oh, yeah. Welcome, Rick. God bless.
We're the opening act, baby.
Yeah, dare I ask?
Oh, things are, well, yeah, I have some, I think, good news. We'll know more next week, but we now have, we being the collective 2A organizations, have 5 cases being reviewed by the Supreme Court right now to see if they're going to move on them. So we are praying that they don't boot any of these 5 cases out over the next week, because that means then they will actually be rendering opinions, which will be fantastic and get some things moving. And one of those cases that they pulled to review is our case on the gun shows here in California.
Yay.
So we're very excited that they pulled that up for review, because that could turn a lot of things around when it comes to gun shows here in this state. So very excited about this.
Silver linings.
That's
All right.
yeah, any news in that direction is good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we don't know anything else on some of the other court cases. Everything's kind of laid there. And, of course, in the Capitol, things have been interesting. We had, drumroll, 0 bills dropped this week.
Wow.
Did you guys get to take a deep breath?
What happened there?
So, well, you know, doesn't mean there wasn't shenanigans and other things affecting, you know,
Okay.
hunting, gun laws, et cetera. But, yeah, it's very interesting right now. The fires have added to the mix, obviously, but everybody's being very cautious, very careful. There's a lot of internal squabbling going on right now, a lot of finger pointing. And as a result, things are slow so far to come out. And we have a couple positive bills that it looks like are going to make it out of Ledge Council and come out. So I'm excited because I'll get to announce those. But yeah, and there's also been several bills that just didn't make it through that we've been able to talk to people and get those bills stopped from ever going to Ledge Council and trying to get a number assigned to them. So that's kind of what's going on right now. A lot of it is just stopping bad legislation, trying to talk to some people and seeing where things are going. And we also have some new people running some of the committees. I'll say this straight up. I hope what they're saying is honest, but they're offering to want to meet with us and hear both sides of the story, which is more than we've had probably in a decade.
That's encouraging.
But do I think that's going to move the ball? I don't know.
Any comment on the special legislative session that was called while Los Angeles was undergoing the most ruinous fires in its history to vote $25 million to fight Trump?
Yeah, well, yeah, one of the things that I'll say this isn't normally my area, but I'll say it's shocking to me to hear from the city all the way up to the governor's office the amount of denials and finger point. Look, anybody, especially somebody like me who's worked in the wildlife space on behalf of our 2A community, will tell you they've been supposed to be removing 500,000 acres for almost the past decade. Every year, they barely get 100,000 acres. So the field being built up, not a surprise. Also not a surprise that agriculture, conservation groups up and down the state have been arguing, don't flush the water out, let it lay on the ground. It's good for waterfowl. It refills the aquifers.
Yep.
It places stuff. Use the reservoir system. Start being smart about this. And we always get, oh, sorry, it's being bid out, and the money disappears. Oh. So a lot of us knew this was coming. Many of us have said there's several parts of the state that one wrong lightning bolt, one falling, anything, a car blowing up, anything could start a massive fire like this. And we've known this for the better part of 20 years.
Well, it happened. It happened, though. The Paradise Fires, with the Woodley Fire.
I had a good friend at the Paradise Fires. That she's an incredible artist, has done a lot of the duck stamp art across the country. And, not a strong lady. She's like 70, I think 75. I have one of her paintings in my office here at home, and she literally was running to her car as her house blew up in that Paradise Fire. And by the time she got to in the street, she was trying to help a lady who was trying to ride a bike that was melting into the asphalt, who was pregnant with 2 kids. Jeez. And it's, you hear these stories from people that have been in these fires, and it's horrible. I mean, our hospitals are jammed up here in Orange County with people from, northern LA County because the hospitals had to be evacuated. Yeah. So this shows a lot of ineptness, but it's also a lesson that I tell people all the time. There are not enough firefighters, not enough law enforcement, not enough EMS when we have a catastrophic event, and there never is going to be, which means you have to be prepared. That's why I push people to get CCWs, I push people to get first aid kits, I push people to get trained and to know what they're doing, because this is demonstrative of how ill-prepared government is when something really gets out of hand.
That's what we pay them to do.
On that point, reading into the firing line this month, if everyone hasn't joined the CRPA, and just to have this piece of material in front of you, Alex Verlaine put a well-regulated militia article up there, and the majority of the population within these new 3-gun shoots and all and areas of education are citizens, folks. These are us. These are you and I. And during times like this, where you need to protect the things that people are trying to take from you during these times of tragedy and all that, they're not saying that they're coming at you violently, but you need to feel yourself to be protected and understood that your property is there, and these people may become violent and all, and these citizens are going to be able to protect yourselves at times. And so I think that a great resource is the firing line about the actual reality of people that train and to protect themselves and all. So
yeah, thank you very much for that, Jimmy. And one of the things too is on that line, coming up on April 19th, which is not that far away, we have now debuted the patch that glows in the dark with the Minuteman on it. And people that go and show up on that day can get that patch. And one of the ranges here in Southern California has this great idea. I think it's one of the coolest things. But when you fire your shot, some places are going to have targets. Everybody will be firing their shot into a can of British tea.
Hey, that's got some style.
Absolutely.
That's got some style.
Very cool.
That's wonderful.
So, some people are doing some really creative stuff with that, and I think that's just going to be an incredible event because that's the event that kicks off our 250th anniversary as a country. So we're really hoping a lot of people get on there, and they can go to the CRPA.org and start signing up.
Yeah, and if you guys haven't joined the CRPA yet and received your firing line magazine, there's a great article in there about that as well, and it's one of the longer ones in the magazine and all. So
Yeah, some Yahoo wrote that thing.
yeah, someone. I've got a couple of. I've been taking notes. Let's say just for when you do come on and all that. Your article about the government is coming for your guns and ammo. That article that you put out. I mean, there's so much actual facts and history in that. You guys should be definitely looking at why we are such and why they are coming for all these things and how long they've been doing it for. So I put a bunch of notes now. So if we ever have some time and all that, we ever can bump articles and all that, love to do that, because you guys have some great writing in there, keeping us. What we need is to be educated, especially on the legislative front and just about the history and what you guys can do, the educational process of this. So thank you so much to everyone over there.
It's my pleasure. I enjoy doing it, and which makes me kind of sick because I actually enjoy fighting for this stuff, but I really do. I do enjoy fighting for the people of California.
Absolutely.
Spreading the word, man.
Hey, where are you going to do your shot, Rick?
Well, now I'm tempted. I don't want to like flood the range. I was out speaking Friday night in a range, and the range owner came up and told me that that's what he was going to do at his range. So I'm probably going to shoot somewhere here in Southern California, probably Orange or Riverside.
Okay. Well, let me know, and maybe I'll go with you.
It falls on a Saturday, man. You can't ask for better than that.
Yeah, it's a Saturday.
Okay. I got a gun or two.
One or two. Yeah.
Boy, we got one or two. The shop looks ridiculous right now. We have so much stuff in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I hate to bring it up.
I was going to be there this week. I don't know what's going to happen. If my calendar stays the way it is right now and doesn't get wiped out, then I'll probably come down Wednesday or Thursday. But I don't know what it's going to look like by then.
All I can tell you is this, Rick. If you get a chance to come in, bring a bib because you're going to be drooling all over the place. There is so much cool stuff in there right now.
Yeah, I actually told a couple other people, including Joel, that came the one time and filmed with you. I go, Chef has the mother load, dude. You got to go see it. So
yeah, we just went on last week. We went on a pickup up in Bakersfield. The gentleman told me, I think I have about 75 guns. It ended up being 225. So we added those. Yeah, and I got a call today from the guy in Sacramento who's been, telling us, it's going to be soon, and it looks like it's going to be this coming week.
Okay.
He's got 350.
Wow.
So our 2 days in June, they're full.
Already full. Come on. This is September now.
That's good business.
Yeah, I mean, before you could say howdy do, we're going to be booking for September.
And December. I mean, with these next couple of things
at
coming
this
up.
rate, by June, you're going to be like, we're now booking for 2027.
That's right.
I'm telling you.
For our weekly auctions.
And it's just... It's because of it's because of this show. Anyway, Rick, we got a minute left. Anybody wants to join, donate their time, their monies, their efforts, how do they get a hold of you?
CRPA.org, and if you have questions or comments, reach out to us at contact@crpa.org, and God bless you guys, and everyone be safe, shoot straight, and fight back for your right.
God bless you, Rick.
Come in this week, Rick. It's way worth it.
Take care.
Join the CRPA, folks. Come on.
All right, you're listening to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
And now's the time where we open up the phone lines. What is those numbers?
You're going to want to call in at 866-870-5752. Once again, that's 866-870-5752.
Okay.
Make this show your own.
Bottom of the hour is all commercials and news. When we get back, we go to you.
Jump online, YouTube, Rumble, X, Gunslinger Radio.
What is the name? Rahagi's, the live fire CCW training at Rahagi's. Who is that? Is that Bill Murphy?
Yeah, it's ATI.
Who was I just speaking to this week? And they mentioned Rahagi's and all. Who was I just speaking with? Oh, I was at Bible study.
I got hit up on by a church group who wants to put together a defense plan for their church. It's a sad commentary on our times, and again on the job that unfortunately the government is doing a modestly poor job of. But yes, at your Bible study, people are talking about it. At this particular church, people are talking about it because they don't want to be victims.
Nope. And it's sad times, but there's a plenty of gentlemen in my study that are all.
Oh, thank you. Time is perfect. Everything is kind of.
Well, it's
Quality.
It's all the crap in the air.
Yes. And I have a white car now.
I have a black car. It's kind of mauve now.
Right?
How'd you get that matte paint on there? Oh, it used to be a glistening
It used to be
girl.
metallic.
Oh, oh shit!
Dude, always do your backboards.
Right? I should have used her.
I'm going to see Richard this week. I wonder if he's going to say anything about it. Will you stop doing that?
No.
You can deny it, can't you?
It's on camera.
I was going to say up
think
close.
so.
Kirk says, my car is charcoal. Ouch, I really hope that's not true. That's very funny if it's not true.
I think we have to say hello to Jeffrey.
Yay!
Hang on one second. Sean and Kavina wants to talk about
So yeah, we're 3 or 4.
Yep.
YouTube's an issue. I'm trying to troubleshoot it. It's giving me this error that I've never seen before in my life. So I'm on it. Worst case scenario, I'll post it when I get home tonight to YouTube, so it's up there at least.
Okay.
If it doesn't kick in, then
everybody say hello to Jeffrey.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Hello, Jeffrey.
Hey, dude. You the man. Well, I have. I'm glad the computer's working because my phone is not. I'm dropping everything. I'm not even getting reception on stuff. So.
Well,
I got to give a shout out. We were talking about it earlier. Old Bark says, did Mark not get the memo about matching plaid shirts? To which Hendo responds, he only has plaid kilts.
Yep.
How are you guys? You guys are killing me here.
If you're online right now, guys, if you can hear this, make sure you're liking and sharing this right now.
AM 870, The Answer.
It's not right to do Levi Stubbs. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, you got to kind of let him go.
Yeah, you just got to let him do his own thing. Welcome back, everybody, to Gunslingers right here on
The Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
That's right. We cover something like 110,000 square feet, by the way.
That's pretty impressive. We also
square
have,
feet. I meant square miles.
Square miles. Well, we have the live feeds, of course, on Facebook, Rumble, X, and not YouTube tonight.
Yeah, apparently
Which is
YouTube's
unfortunate
not
because
working.
the online community is really tearing it up. I would say they're burning it up with the car colors. Craig Hansen says, "Don't forget." You could have a car that's burnt orange.
Oh,
Ooh, ouch.
that's true.
Too soon. Too soon.
And speaking of, the godfather of this show, or maybe our patron saint, Leon had to evacuate. He sent me a text
Yikes.
about 10 minutes ago, and he had to evacuate. And so, let's hope everything goes good with Leon. He's safe. He's at one of his kids' house, but he's not going to be able to listen in tonight because
It's very, very dislocating in more ways than one. Yeah.
So let's for everybody else out there too, let's give a prayer.
It was no picnic,
your
and
prayers,
the
folks.
wind's coming up this week. It ain't over yet.
No, I know. This is just ridiculous. And I have to send, I was saying earlier, okay, so you guys remember last week I was saying, we got to go to Bakersfield on Monday, my day off, blah, blah, blah. And it was going to be a quick pickup. I was going to zip out there.
Zip to Bakers.
There's 75 firearms. We're going to grab them real quick and off we go. Well, we got out there and 75 turned into 225.
Ooh.
So
We're going to need a bigger boat.
yeah,
Good problem.
there was no
Man.
zip. It was like we got out there as soon as we could, and then they just kept coming. Oh my goodness, you guys, you got to come by the shop, the Orange Store, and see some of the things that we have there. It's just unbelievable.
So the people understand you do this a couple of ways. If people wish to auction it through you, they can watch the auction the entire time, and they'll see exactly, you write the things up, you photograph them, they'll see exactly how it is, or occasionally you will even buy a collection out from somebody so they can have cash in hand.
Yep. Well, this guy had so many, on top of the 200 plus guns, he had every type, style, kind uniform from about 1890 to 1945.
Oh, man.
And I mean, like, from every, from Britain, Japan, Germany,
Amazing collection.
Oh, it's unbelievable stuff. There's probably
You got to start a museum, dude. I mean,
I'm telling
not
you,
kidding.
There's like 50 to 75 helmets. There's Pickelhaubens.
The old German World War I helmet with a little spike on the top.
Yeah, for those of you who if you've ever watched Hogan's Heroes, at the very end on the outro,
they have the Pickelhaub,
they have a Pickelhaub, that's a goofy helmet with a spike in the center of it because
Smart design.
Yeah, that's
It's better if they're made out of shiny leather.
yeah. So
That'll keep the fragments out.
Oh, yeah.
there's 3 or 4 of those, and there's just unbelievable stuff. Well, we're gonna have a Pickelhaub.
Wouldn't you love charge at each other at their heads? Wouldn't you love to go through the commission that decided that's what we're doing for helmets?
That's the one.
That's when we're going to little spike so they can see it coming from miles away.
Make it
it's leather,
soft.
so it's not going to keep anything out.
And just in case we get lightning, you got that spike right there on the top of your
You'll
head.
be the first to know.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Speaking of, let's get to, he's been waiting a long time. Let's get to Mark in Woodland Hills. Mark, sorry to keep you waiting. What can we do for you?
Oh, 3 of the best patriots on the planet.
Thank you, sir.
Mark the Professor, you, Jeff, and Jimmy the Gent.
Oh, thank you very much.
I would like to remind folks that if you want to contact your Congress members and other districts' Congress members, you can do it directly. You will get their attention. Their staffers cannot ignore your opinions if you go on to billblasterapp.org. And it's the best way to contact them. Otherwise, they may just ignore you. We've had 4 years of a President Charlie McCarthy and Obama holdovers that were acting as an Edgar Bergen. We don't need that. We need a transparent bipartisan observation of a recall for the Los Angeles mayor and California's governor. This time, though, when the governor gets recalled, we don't allow them to push our observations away.
Nope.
Right.
They did. Yeah. And how would you like to hear 4 more years of we have to move forward into a future unburdened by what is this? That's Karl Marx.
I know.
Okay, folks?
They're
thank
talking
God we
about
don't
this
have
as her
that.
landing spot.
I have a long-term prediction for you. I know last week I asked you for some predictions, but here's one I predict for you. The last of the Bush Mafia to run for president will be George Prescott Bush, the son of so-called Jeb, John Ellis Bush. And someday he will run against Donald Trump Jr.
Ooh, wow.
Now we're looking down the line here, you know, but that's what I see happening. And by the way, you guys should look into Prescott Bush. He was the disgraced congressman from Connecticut who was funding with his banking the early Nazi Party. In fact, the Bush family was sued in 2004 by some German Jews who were slaves at Auschwitz. Okay? We don't need any more of the Connecticut Yankees that they call themselves. And I haven't met one Texan who thinks the Bushes are Texans, okay? They bought their way into the state is what I keep hearing. So I just wanted to drop that on you. Once again, folks, Bill Blaster.
I just put it up on the Rumble
Thanks.
feed. Just make sure that people
splendid.
know.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
BillBlasterApp.org.
BillBlasterApp.org.
And it's extremely efficacious. In fact, it may be even more because you don't have to dedicate as much time as we had to for Trump Talk, which was also extremely effective.
Okay, very good.
Use your voice, folks. So use your voice.
God bless you guys.
Thanks,
God
Mark. We'll
bless
talk to you
Be
later.
safe.
Thanks, Mark. You know what Steinbeck said about the Bushes in Texas? Steinbeck said Texas isn't so much a place as it's a state of mind. And what Mark just said, you could buy a place there, but that doesn't make you a Texan.
No, absolutely. Okay, let's get to Sean in Covina. Sean, how are you?
Evening, Sean.
Well, I'm much better. I was sick for 2 weeks. Now I feel much better.
Oh, good.
Great to have
And
you back.
I want to greet the three amigos of the 2A. Congratulations on a year well done.
Thank you,
and
sir.
I salute your posse of the Gunslingers posse with Brett, Antoinette, and former Tyson. I salute all your posse.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for sticking with us. You're part of this posse too.
Right? Yeah, you're in.
Audience on social.
Thank you. I'm in. I'd like to do two things. I would like to retire a Biden joke, and I want to give evidence on just behalf on why the Corsair is better than the P-51.
Here we go.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, number one, the joke. I have apparently the Biden staff has turned against him because they've leaked his schedule. So I'll read off the schedule according to time. 7 a.m., Biden does a number 1. 8 a.m., Biden does a number 2. 9 a.m., Biden gets out of bed.
Ouch. But you're not going to have him to kick around for, oh my God, can you believe it? It's almost upon us. January 20th is almost here, man.
8 more days. Okay, so real quick, give us your Corsair versus a
Corsair,
P-51.
yeah, I'm interested in this.
We're all biting at the bit.
The only way you can test the two if they fought against each other. And, of course, the professor knows about the soccer war between
Absolutely.
Salvador
Haiti and the DR.
and Honduras. Mm-hmm. And during that war, they had a soccer game they lost, and El Salvador was going to take land away from Honduras. Honduras was in a horrible shape. Its military was down. The only thing that saved Honduras from El Salvador, because El Salvador built up large amounts of artillery, tanks, and mechanized, and they were always doomed except for 10 Corsairs. Now, the El Salvadorians attacked them with Mustangs and a few Corsairs. And when the attack came in, the Honduran Corsairs shot the P-51s out of the sky. They shot 4 down, and the Salvadorans shot down one of their own in friendly fire. And even a T-6 Texan shot up a P-51 and damaged it, too. So, with this evidence I provide to you, Jeff, you may provide to George, showing that in combat, the Corsair defeated the P-51 in the soccer war of 1969. You were a little boy at age 9. I know you were rooting for the Corsairs.
If you were using a Corsair in 1969, this was some frontline stuff here. And an AT-6, which is a trainer, got one of the Mustangs. They were up against the varsity there, I'm telling you.
Very good. Okay, Sean.
And I'll give you some little tidbits there. What firearms the Salvadorans had, they were using H&K G3s, M1 Grands, and Mausers. The Hondurans were using Fowls, M1 Grands, 1917s chambered in 7mm.
All right.
There's a little tidbit there. So now, when anyone questions your loyalty to the Corsair, you have your evidence.
There you go. Appreciate it.
Love Sean with the history lesson. Always appreciate it.
All right, Sean. Thanks for the call. We'll talk to you again.
God bless you, friend. Be safe.
Okay.
Take care.
That's a fun. They went to war over a soccer match.
That's
100-hour war.
Lines are now open. Jimmy, what's the number?
866-870-5752. That's 866-870-5752.
If you got questions about guns, we'll actually answer those too.
We do those. This is a gun show sometimes.
And everything.
Well, let's have a conversation amongst ourselves with the recent emergency. Let's talk about bug-out bags and what you should prudently take.
Our next call will actually, James in West LA wants to talk about preparedness, so we'll get to that right after this. You're listening to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
And we'll be right back.
Prayers from Cincinnati. Thanks, Marshall. Yeah, I know this guy.
He talks.
I'd have his 8x10 if it was signed.
Oh, good target.
Yeah, they're talking about the Bush family. Bush kid involved in the junk bond scandal. Yes, you don't need, honestly, that's all part of the swamp, and that water just needs to be squeegeed out the door.
Mm-hmm.
A fresh start with some honest people, and let's, gosh, I wish there was a phrase like, let's build this country back up once more. Was there a phrase that might apply to that?
Yeah, term limits.
Create the nation.
Make.
Oh, gosh.
GunslingerAuctions.com. GunslingerAuctions.com. That's GunslingerAuctions.com. Henry the Eighth I am, Henry the Eighth I am. I got married to a widow next door. She's been married 7 times before, and everyone was an Henry.
Henry.
Wouldn't have a Willie or a Sam.
No, Sam.
I'm a eighth old man, I'm Henry. Henry the Eighth I am.
Yeah.
Second verse, same as the first.
There's some brilliant songwriting going on right there.
Welcome
I got nothing.
Welcome back, everybody, to Gunslingers right here on
The Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
And that's wrong.
Well done, Derek Leckenby. That was their left-handed bass player.
Oh, there you go.
Hello.
The fact that I know that distresses me.
And their guitar player was the guy that did the James Bond.
Yep.
Okay, we have lines open. Jimmy, what's the number?
866-870-5752. Once again, that's 866-870-5752. And if you want to get online and you don't feel like calling in, we are checking up the comments and questions on all of our streams.
As we always do, except for
YouTube.
Except for YouTube, but we're still available on.
That's X, Rumble, and Facebook Live. Everything's been going in and out a little bit today because of weather and all these things. So just be patient with it. Stay on. Get your questions. Get your comments up there. We'll get them on air.
Absolutely.
All right, and because he's been so patient, let's get to James in West LA. James, what can we do for you?
Evening, James.
Hey, how you doing? I work as a private patrol officer in West LA. When the lights went out in my area responsibility, I was fortunate enough to have my car fully kitted with lights and so forth. So I turned on all my lights, patrolled the area, which is totally dark, and I realized I was the only protection person in the area. There were no police. There was nobody. And I've been pushing this for a long time, that upgrade the training for private security, segregate the industry, but have a better quality person out there for times like this.
Mm-hmm.
Coupled with the fact that, the job of security is to mitigate risk, and part of that is fire prevention and so forth. And this should be mandated by the state to have everybody trained in fire prevention, fire systems, and so forth. So that would be aiding and preventing, obviously, fires.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but see, James, that makes sense, and we're in California. So
I understand common sense is an oxymoron for those people who run the state.
But it's a huge thing, especially in our state, is that they've tried to eliminate education on every front, preparedness in the schools, firearms, all these aspects. They've tried to eliminate, making us the ones to be responsible because they've taken away it all. So
Yeah, they want us to be subjects, not
Not
citizens.
citizens, yeah.
Okay.
great point, though.
I appreciate the call. Thanks, James.
You got it.
Take care.
That's a good reminder because there's, this is terrible but true. This is a horrific event that has taken place, but this is not the worst thing that could happen here.
Oh no, not
And
by a damn
you were
sight.
talking last week about if you're a police officer and you have to choose between your family and your duty, and that's going to be a tough one. And there's not enough of them in the first place.
Well, I read somewhere, I don't remember exactly where now, but it was something like there was one police officer for every 2,500 people in just in LA County.
What kind of balance is that?
Mathematically,
And now you got to figure 70% of them are going to go home if something, say we have a 9.2 and you think these fires are bad, what do you think's going to happen after that? Because it's going to open up everything.
and that's my point. So
And so how many of them are going to go home and have them, and so you think it's bad now when you call 911 and, what do I always say? When seconds count, the police are only 30 minutes away.
they might be days or weeks away.
And what are you going to do? Throwing your feelings at somebody doesn't really do much.
The tears in your eyes.
With such a wide swath of tragedy covering such a large area, you don't think our people of protection are not in these tragedies, trying to protect themselves, trying to keep up with their own daily lives and their families at this moment? If you whittle these numbers down even further, what type of protection are we looking at?
None.
Absolutely. So,
if I may, personal experience, we had evacuation alerts. We never got the order. That was literally across the street. But we had evacuation alerts for 36 hours, and it came at 4:40 in the morning, which is about the best time if you want to get somebody as befuddled as it is possible to be.
Yeah.
And so I leapt up immediately, grabbed my bug-out bag, and said, wait a minute, where's my... a couple of weeks ago I took that out for ... And my bug-out bag, which is, let's face it, the big one here in Southern California is the earthquake, right?
Sure.
And you don't have... If there's an earthquake, you don't have 20 minutes to run around going, where's the water bottle? Where's the passport? Where's the firearm? You don't have that kind of time.
No. And unfortunately, us in LA, we've been so spoiled for the last 100 years here that when these fires go away, everybody's just going to go back to.
Well, hopefully not.
Yeah.
Hopefully not.
I think James made a great point about preparedness and all that, and the segregation of security, having these different tiers and creating another tier of security for the armed security privateers out there, because with such a limited amount of police force in activity and all that, I think that there needs to be an extra tier of armed, responsibly armed protection out there. And I think it's a big thing because I work security, you've worked security, and just being there and knowing which hand is operating, either the armed security or the unarmed, it puts a different level of heightened awareness going around. And so I think that especially in these places where looting's happening and all that, having this type of extra protection and having another level out there is going to be very
And
helpful.
it will be on you.
Yes.
Because that's something that we do need to address at some point. There is a real gorilla in the room. There are a lot more gang members than there are police in the Los Angeles area. Good idea, bad idea, you decide, but that is the simple reality. And so there is another tier of security, but they're not on your side.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Let's get to Dean in L.A. Dean, what can we do for you?
Hey, never mind gang members. I think there's probably more Chinese agents in L.A. than there are cops.
Ouch, but there's a body of truth to that.
Yeah.
My questions, two questions really. I know you guys are required to sell me that semi-automatic rifle with the shark fin on the grip if it doesn't break apart in order to reload it. But is it my obligation under the law to keep it that way if I'm in California, or can I get it home and saw that thing off or replace the grip?
Well, a couple of screws will get the job done, but by law you are supposed to keep it on there for now. Hopefully, the so-called assault weapons ban goes away here.
Part of that
soon
tidal
enough.
wave by CRPA.
Generally, it's just a Phillips head, too, just to let you know.
Yeah, because again, assault is an action. A rifle is a rifle. So,
or a flavor. I assault this and I pepper that. So
there you go. So that you know, Dean, There is a thing called a Ledesma grip, which does remove the shark fin grip. It retains the functionality of the weapon, and thus far, nobody has found it to be illegal. So I would encourage you, if you have an AR platform, to look into that. If you have an AK, you're screwed because it deals with the minutia of the law.
It's such a weird thing because it's just an angle, a differentiation of angles. And you can still keep a grip per se, but you're just changing the angle of your grip. So look into that as...
It's really like telling somebody you're going to make your car more safe by loosening the steering wheel.
That's honestly...
the gun harder to handle is just absurd.
It makes it takes the firearm and makes it dangerous to the user.
The illusion of safety, I used to say, because it's...
my other question is, what do you think is the best all-around load against attack drones? If the robots are coming at us and the drones are coming at us, like they're, like what's going on in the Ukraine, for example, what do you think is the best load? Like, what's the heaviest bird shot, or should you go with buckshot? And then what would be in your opinion, the best, not too expensive shotgun for someone to own?
Well, as far as a not expensive shotgun, probably something along the Mossberg Maverick, the Maverick 88. They're like $199 new.
Yep. Cheap and good. There is some imported stuff, but I would stick with something like the
I'd
Maverick.
stick with American, and again, not looking to be cheap, but I mean effective and functional, but not just.
Mossberg Remington.
Yeah, Mossberg. My first pick is always the Remington 870. It's a great gun, and I would go with double-aught buck because
double-aught buck. That you wouldn't. What's another question? What is the heaviest bird shot?
I think it starts being buckshot at number 4.
It stops being buck.
So, 4 count or.
I think what Mark said is correct. It starts becoming birdshot at number 5.
Yeah.
So but these are still pretty heavy birds.
Right. I mean, it would kill a person, no doubt.
Yeah.
Unquestionably.
But from to mess up a drone, it's basically like shooting clay out of the sky. So
not so anymore, unfortunately. The war in Ukraine, the drone technology has grown by leaps and bounds. Many of them are hardened against things like ordinary shotgun shot, because that is one of the tools that they started out using. But that's again a year ago, and it's out. The only thing that's been effective thus far are 3-inch loads with flechettes. Wow. And I'll tell you what, the problem with that is...
But those are illegal on the battlefield, no?
They're your... when the drone is coming after you with a hand grenade, or the Ukrainians have started arming them with repeater shotguns.
Oh, boy.
Anyway,
so something smaller, not slug. Well, slug would be either hit or miss. Wow. Gentlemen, thanks a lot. I'll let you go. Let someone else call in. Great show. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean. Okay, and that opens up lines. What's the number, Jim?
You're going to want to call in at 866-870-5752. Once again, that's 866-870-5752.
Let's do something different. Let's try and lighten it up a little bit. Tonight's been very...
been pretty dark. Well, like the skies, unfortunately, around us. So, if you got something that'll cheer this whole thing up.
You got questions about paperwork. You got questions about what's the gun you want to buy. You didn't get it for Christmas, so now you want to go get it.
Let us know if you've hit the catalog up already. What have you seen on there that you're biting at the bit for?
Because I want to know, because I don't want you to bid against me.
Yes, because the catalog is up.
The
Pictures
catalog
and descriptions.
Is up. GunslingerAuctions.com. Just click on the bid now button, and that'll take you right to it.
We are like 2 weeks away.
I know.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and I think we're 3 weeks away, because
3 weeks. That's what
2 weeks we're going to Vegas.
That's what it is.
And no, I still don't have my SHOT Show.
Viva.
Yeah. Okay, you're listening to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
And we'll be back in a minute or two.
Yeah, we will.
Great tune.
Yeah.
When I was in the ASCAP songwriting group, one of our guest speakers was one of the musicians in this particular song. This was a live cut in her living room. And they took it into the studio, and they could not capture that.
Wow.
And if you listen, you can hear some creaking of chairs and stuff.
No kidding.
This was the pre-studio run-through.
That's pretty bitchin'.
These people are so good, they can pull this off live, right? How are you gonna fix that? Yeah, let's sweeten that with some. That's perfect.
There's no artificial sweetener here.
You know, it's funny because I was listening to Amy this morning, and I
heard that too, and they did the other
extended
part
version?
of it first.
Falling in and out of love.
I love that version of it.
That song is, first of all, there's no pitch correction. There's no, I mean, the recording was pretty plain Jane at that point. That song is perfect.
Yes.
It is just, you can listen to that and you go,
Nailed it.
nailed it.
Can it? Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to sell a few of these.
And basically, it's DG and or AD
A.
and G, AG and
AG.
D. Yeah, AG then D.
But what, it's like, that song is so present and so good. It's like, did nobody ever think of that before?
I know. Yeah.
Okay, so one of my favorite, I just found this out just a few days ago. Jimmy Hart, he was the mouthpiece for a bunch of different wrestlers. He had the megaphone. He was the lead singer for the Gentrys.
Really?
Yes, I just found that out. Member of the rock band, the Gentrys, and the Mouth of the South. And I saw him in an old black and white. And I was like, that is that old chap, man. He's got to be. He came out with they just had like the WWF, WWE just moved to Netflix, and so they had Hogan out, and he was accompanied by Jimmy Hart, and I was like doing a little digging, and yeah, he was part of the Gentry. Goodness gracious!
Your presence in the field of wrestling, impressive.
I'm still a fan. I'm going to try to go out to, I guess, Vegas again for the 4th time this year. For WrestleMania will be in Vegas. I went a couple years back when they had it at the Rams Stadium, and it was fun. It's an experience. It's good. I get to take pictures with some of the wrestlers.
I got to go to school with one of the gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
Oh,
I will not
Glow.
use any names here, but we went out a couple times. That was kind of
The
cool.
old Glow,
Was
I love it.
at college with her. She was studying political science. This was a gig to get her through her.
Hey, baby. Yeah, it's crazy. It's a fun thing. Old past him. I always thought I'd become a wrestler, but then
It's not too late. Just we can do it right now.
you know what people tell me? I talk to people. I'll wear one of my wrestling shirts. They're like, it's not too late. I'm like, I don't know if this face shows what the age difference I've climbed
think
into.
That once you get into that spandex, you'll care. You'll find it like a new lease on life. I see you purple with gold tights. I can see it.
Went to a birthday party, 80s themed, and that was my motif.
I can see it.
Yes.
I can see it.
I still enjoy a good. I don't watch it much, but I try to keep tabs on it. It's fun. It's fun. It is fun.
We have a call coming in from Maryland.
Noise.
I like it.
Bop. Bop, bop, bop. Da 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 da. Charlie McCarty.
Now I'm hungry.
I am hungry.
Can we do a remote from Columbo's Italian Steakhouse?
Right? Maybe we can make them a
I
sponsor.
don't know. I'm in the, doing this show straddles my dinner time, and when we do these food commercials, it's tough.
Yeah. Well, we have to have dinner at 4:30 in the afternoon now because of this. So I get home at 10:15. I am starving.
See, that's one of the things I do my fast for. When I go home, that's my dinner time.
Chow down.
Oh yeah. I'm making a family meal of 4 all to myself. Generally, when I leave, I usually have a protein drink or 2 inside the car, so at least I'm not starving when I get home.
So is he the godfather of the show or the patron saint?
Fair question. I like that. Hey, patron, if you know what I'm saying here, I can help you with that traffic ticket.
Forget about it.
You need a permit? We can do this.
I got your fucking permit ready.
Hey, now.
You need a permit? I'll talk to a guy who'll talk to a guy.
We've done an hour already? Holy smokes. I'm glad. I appreciate you signing the 2-hour contract yet again.
Yeah.
Because, man,
I
1
know,
hour?
we'd be on our way home.
How
already.
did we do that?
For almost 5 full years.
How did we do that?
Don't know.
How would we squeeze so much show into an hour?
We talked really, really,
Really fast. Like this.
Website, am870theanswer.com.
But pulled in just behind the friend, she lays her down. She frowns, my life's a funny thing. Am I still too young? She kissed her diamond there. She took his ring, took his babies. It took him minutes, took her nowhere. Heaven knows she's a taker and a faker. Welcome back, everybody, to Gunslingers right here on
The Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
And what is this, Jimmy? Our second
Power
Packed Hour. This is where you guys call in and ask us questions. You got questions about what do you wear when you go to a gun show, a gun shop, right on down the line. And of course, we always love it when the ladies call. So give us a call. And you know, we haven't heard from anybody in Vegas in a little while. How come?
What's going on?
Or San Diego.
We're coming out there next week.
Yeah, I mean, we got phone calls last week from Phoenix, but we didn't get any from Vegas, and we didn't get any from. We haven't gotten anything from San Diego in a while.
No, that's
so you guys are slacking.
KXNT AM 840 out there in Vegas. You guys tune in, listen up. We are your neighbors, baby.
And give us a call. What is that number, Jim?
866-870-5752. Once again, that's 866-870-5752.
All right, very good. And in the meantime, again, February 1st, it's almost upon us.
Man, I mean...
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
We literally just finished one up less than a month ago.
Yeah, this is my week. Tomorrow I have to meet with my accountant. Then I have to meet with a pool guy. Then I got a couple other things I got to do. And then Tuesday we go back to the shop, except I got half my guys going back to Bakersfield to get all the rest of these uniforms and helmets. And
so much larger than you were expecting.
Oh, man. And then...
No, you say you're meeting with a pool guy here.
Yeah, I'm going to make...
With you, I just want to make sure.
I'm going to make him an offer he better not refuse.
Better.
Anyhow, so then we got to figure out the Sacramento thing, and then Friday I'm supposed to leave for Yuma to go to
the territorial breakout, a competition.
Yeah, a shooting match which is Saturday and Sunday. They're bending over backwards for me to try and get to fit into my schedule so I can be back here on time.
For the show,
yeah. So I'm going to shoot. I think if I go, Johnny, if Johnny's listening, is he on? Does anybody know?
I don't know if
okay, they probably just threw something at their radio when he said, if I go. I'm going to shoot 8 on Saturday and then 4 on Sunday morning.
Get you out the door in time.
Yeah, get out of there so I can make it here because, it's not exactly around the corner.
Nope.
Yuma to Glendale.
What a run.
And not Glendale, Arizona.
Oh, the hard part is going to be getting back through town.
I know.
Anyway.
Because it's me, it'll be raining with the winds.
A hailstorm in Southern California.
But it only seemed to follow this one truck. I'm not quite sure.
There.
Anyway, Jimmy, give him the number and then we'll get some calls. Go.
Come on. Once again, guys, it's 866-870-5752.
All right, let's get to Mark in La Mesa. Mark, what can we do for you, sir?
Well, first of all, I'm in San Diego County, so I hope I cover San Diego for you guys.
Oh, there you go.
Counts.
Very good.
That counts.
Joining
We
us.
appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Anyway, also, I've got a couple other questions. First of all, I don't know, how do your auctions work? I've never done an auction. I've got a few collectibles I like to.
If you want to sell, then just get them into us. We depending on how many you got, we can come to you. But for the most part, people bring them in, and of course you'll get a contract and a receipt, and we'll fit you into the next available spot, which
they do fill up fast.
Yeah,
Mark. The good news is if you're in La Mesa, you have an outlet right near Tustin, right?
Yeah, I'm in Orange, so
easy drive.
Yeah, you're not too far from me. And it says Colt Python. Do you have what have you got?
Well, before I get to that, I might recommend the Savage 320 shotguns. They're about $250. They seem like a good shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, my Colt Python, I've got one that was made in like 1980. I've had it for about 40 years, and I was wondering, do you think the new Colts have hurt the pricing of the originals?
They really have. For a while, and this kind of started with COVID of all things. Python started climbing, and they started getting just silly prices.
Yeah.
A standard 4-inch blue was getting $3,500, and it raised the price of all the Colt snake guns. So the Diamondbacks and all the other ones started climbing too, but they've kind of calmed down and come back to reality. A Python in excellent condition, standard grade. Now, I'm not talking about anything special, an 8-inch
3-inch
or any of the unusual ones, should get somewhere between $1,500 and $2,200, depending on condition, and that's kind of where they're going back to now.
Leveling.
So, yeah, they've kind of leveled off. So.
Right. Well, sounds good. So getting back to the auctions. Yeah, I don't mind bringing them up there, but can I set a minimum that I want to get for those? Or
well, we do. That's actually called a reserve price, and I do reserve things. But here's the thing: I don't reserve things under $5,000, and I'll tell you why. If I had to get, we're going to start with lot 1, 2, and we'll go to lot 5. Lot 1, I got to get $1,200. Lot 2, I got to get $1,900. Lot 3, I got to get $400. Lot 4, I got to get $750, and lot 5, I got to get $1,800. Can you imagine what that would do to trying to get through this? Yeah, the flow. All right, here we go. We got 200 now. 2 and a quarter. 2 and a quarter. 2 and a quarter. Got 2 and a quarter. 2 and a half. Well, I got to get 1,900 for this, guys. You ready? Are you
Who's
in or out?
coming up there?
It would just kill everything.
So fast.
Now here's a couple of things to keep in mind. This is a gun auction. It's a firearm auction, and we sell literally from South Africa to Alaska. And this is not a fire sale, back in the Depression era days where things just go up for 50 cents and and it's gone. We have thousands of bidders on several different platforms and
all around the world.
Yeah, several hundred in house, and we've got bidders on the phone. We've got sealed bids and
bidders on the internet.
Yeah, so nothing gets stolen. And here's my proof in the pudding. If you give me 10 firearms, you're going to get 3 that you're going to go, wow, I can't believe they got that much. You're going to have 3 that sold exactly what they should have sold for, and you're going to have 3 that probably didn't make what you thought they would, and the one is going to be a wild card. But in the end, it all works out, and you're going to get exactly what you should have got.
You leave happy.
Well, sounds good. I got to give you guys a try. Thank you very much.
You bet. Give us a call or come on by, and we'll take care of you.
Great looking up.
Great. Thank you very much.
You bet, Mark. Thanks for the call.
Thanks for calling and representing the San Diego area.
Very good. Thanks again. All right. Very good.
A lot of people are questioning how these auctions work and all. And if you've ever seen any of them live, you can even go back to our old catalogs and kind of gauge how things kind of run.
In the beginning, we used to struggle. My very first auction, let's get to. We've got a guy John in Maryland. John, I don't want to keep you hanging for so long. So what can we do for you, sir?
Well, good evening. It's very nice to hear from all you guys. And I just have a very quick comment on shotguns and a question about sights.
Okay.
35-plus years of recreational experience with the Mossberg 500. Can't go wrong with the caveat. If the guy is looking for a Mossberg or any other shotgun and he wants American-made, not every model within an American brand may be made in America. I don't want to say anything because I don't know. But so if made in America is important, you just want to track down which model and where it's being made. If America, made in America is important.
Yeah, I agree. And
good
there
point.
Mossberg actually has the international which is an over-under.
Their over-and-unders are foreign made.
And that's foreign made. So that make sure you check if you want a U.S. gun. The only company I know of right off the top of my head is Remington. That's strictly U.S. made.
US
so
all the way.
There is that. All right.
Yeah, and also be careful on the drones, because if you're talking about a recreational drone, just doing something to it in the sky, that's one thing, like a little piece of plastic. But some of these things are 4 feet by 6 feet and even larger. I'm not an expert, but you know where I'm going.
Oh, yeah.
The part where it's a federal offense.
And shooting a firearm in city limits.
Another
probably
layer on top of that.
Probably frowned upon,
Yeah. All right, so I have a sights question. To make a long story short, Rossi, I'm still looking at that Rossi circuit judge with the 5-round 45
the
long
revolver.
bolt.
Yeah,
but here's the thing. I found out it comes with plastic sights, and I'm kind of like, So would you go with it with a plastic sight?
No.
Is it a hassle to remove it?
You know what? It's been so long since I've seen one. I honestly can't tell you. I don't know.
I would replace plastic sights on anything I got, and that includes Glocks.
Yeah, I would get rid of that as soon as possible, and then go to brownells.com. That's brownells.com, and I'm sure you can find a good
Get
site
you a nice
for it.
fiber optic.
Yeah, they've got bazillions of sites for just about everything. All right.
Okay, but still. The firearm is good. Just change the sights up.
Yeah, that's what I would do. And Taurus, there's a Taurus USA, I believe, in Florida. So
yes, there is.
Yeah, you can call down to them in Florida, and they may have something for you. All righty.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Take care now.
Shop Rossi actually has all the accessories, including sights and all.
Did I say Taurus? Okay.
That's it.
Rossi Taurus. They're both from Brazil. What do you want from me? All right. Hey, quick, Jimmy, what's the number? Give us a call.
866-870-5752. Once again, that's 866-870-5752.
And you're listening to Gunslingers right back. I can't even speak. We'll be right back.
Eclectic tonight, man.
I'm telling you, we're all over the board.
Tres Amigos, you are the coolest radio program. Thanks a lot, old Bart.
Thank you, Obi.
I knew I was no longer cool when I stopped listening to music and switched to politics. Well, how about this? We sneak in a little bit of politics, definitely firearms, which is always cool, right? And we got music going on, too. So if you're listening to us, old Bark, you're cool.
Yeah, there you
and we got boys that wear plaid, right? And I'm wearing...
He's got plaid boxers.
Nice flannel
had
ones.
3 phone calls, and 2 of them just dropped off. What the hell? Ugh, God, I got to cut all these again because we got... Next big auction on February 1st. That's gunslingerauctions.com. Again, that's gunslingerauctions.com.
You know this one?
A little bit. You know the day destroys the night. Night divides the day. Try to run, try to hide. Bring on through to the other side. Bring on through to the other side. Bring on through to the other side, yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to Gunslingers.
Hey, man, we got 3 segments left. If you're going to call in, you're running out of time. Because you know what always happens? Always happens at the end of the show? We got like 6 with 4 minutes to go.
I'm telling you, yeah. So give us a call. Jimmy, what's that number?
866-870-5752. Once again, that's 866-870-5752.
Okay, so real quick, very first auction that we did was 2004, I think, and it was really we had no computers. We had to write everything down, and then and we had to run it down on sheets and
trying to sort through the different handwriting.
Yeah, Kathy tried to go through and put okay, yes, it says number. You were bidder 16, and it was just a mess. I think we sold 200 guns in the first one. And
a lot of work, a lot more work. Well, you certainly have streamlined the process now.
Well over 20 years ago now.
And that's when there was 3 at the time? At that time, or was it still 2?
Well, no, for the first couple of years, we did 2. And
2, right?
Yeah, we were at that. Remember the old American Legion Hall in West Covina on Azusa? The place was great. Really super great folks that ran it. The only bummer was when you'd walk in, they allowed smoking there still.
Yeah.
And you stuck to everything. Do you remember that?
Yes.
You-
That's
when
a
you
tough
walk
one.
across the old 50s linoleum floor, your shoes look like
everything was tar covered.
Oh,
and when you say everything, you mean everything.
everything. Yeah, oh,
Do not order the French fries.
Yeah, and then we got computers, and we had a couple of laptops, and then we had to have cords because there wasn't Wi-Fi in the building. So we had these 10,000 yard cords
Phone line
that
out.
everybody would trip over, and oh man, it was. Boy, from the humblest of humble
Look at you now.
beginnings. Yeah,
You've
and
streamlined the process. It's fun. It's fast. And it is fun.
Look how much
Yeah.
we've grown. Our next auction at our brand new facility at.
The Highway 39
Yeah.
Event Center. Yeah, we're gonna go. Richard from our IT guy. I'm supposed to meet him there one day this week. Go through, make sure everything's good, and don't forget.
Plugs in and works.
Yeah, February 1st. This place is a hot rod museum,
Guys.
There's like 60 hot rods in this place. And just,
Okay, online was talking about being cool. What's cooler than that?
having a firearm auction in a hot rod museum.
In a hot rod museum.
Nothing is cooler. And not only that, get this. Everywhere we've been, they always give us those cheesy little chairs that are very uncomfortable. You have to sit in. This place has all kinds of really nice chairs. They have couches.
Couches, folks.
Couches. You
Relax.
can sit on
Sit
a
back,
couch.
hold up your paddle from the couch.
But in one
Luxurious.
hand, bitter number in the other.
Come on, folks.
Yeah.
This is what we've been building for, folks, to bring it all together as one.
Yep, and everybody better behave because we want to stay at this place. Don't go trying to test drive any of these cars.
What an awesome call for the Motor Slingers, too. What
Right?
an
Boy.
awesome call.
That will be
Now, are
a
you talking
lot
about
of
the
fun.
staff or the people that come to the auction?
Well, me.
I rest my case.
Yeah, I'll be trying to drive all of them home. Yeah, because that's what I need.
I don't have one of
Hey, you
those
know
yet.
what? Well, it's a quick update on the '68 Mustang that we picked up last. Yeah, the Bullet car. Got it into my. You know my mechanic Vinny. Vinny and Louie. Hey, Louie.
The boys.
Help the judge find his wallet, will you? Anyway, I was Moose and Rocco. But anyway, we got it to Vinny's. We found a brand new Ford 4-speed manual tranny.
Nice.
My old buddy Cecil is gonna sell that to me, so we're gonna get that this week. We got a whole new front end because we're gonna put. I decided to go with the 390, so with those shock towers in there, you can't fit.
You got to make it fit somehow,
So
right?
yeah, they're coming out. So we're gonna go with a whole new front end. We got a lot of stuff ordered this week, and we're gonna get started on it here pretty quick.
I love to hear it.
I know. All right, let's get to Charles in Wilmington. What can we do for you, sir?
One of your former callers just kind of stole my thunder, as I was saying. But a few months ago, I thought about drones and so forth, and using those flechettes, like they were back in Vietnam.
Right.
And I thought, another thing came up to mind was one of those American 180s or
AR-180, yeah.
AR-180, and I seen one guy.
Oh,
fire,
I'm sorry.
had
The American
endurance.
180 is different. You're right. The 22 with the 180-round drum.
Right, and they would have the endurance, and you can also, I think, don't they make a 22 tracer? It's kind of, at least this guy was showing something where these things where you can trace this line of bullets coming out of this thing.
I don't know if I've ever seen a 22 tracer. Of course,
The reason you
tracers
couldn't
in
but
California.
we're like we have any experience.
Yeah.
Right?
I know that they used to make them for pistols in 38 and 45 ACP, but I don't remember. I don't know if I've ever seen a tracer in 22.
22 long rifle ammo rimfire tracer.
Oh, there you go.
Couldn't have much burn time. But anyway, that very 180 was kind of interesting. It's like a Lewis gun.
Okay, well, explain this because not everybody's going to understand what we're talking
Thank you. It's basically it was a top-fed circular magazine, 22, that could be made fully automatic. Weighed a ton, but boy did it! I forget what the rate of fire was. It was pretty hot, though. I think it was about 1,100 or 1,200 rounds per minute.
Cooking. Yeah.
And we got 180 rounds. That's a pretty good stream.
Somewhat resembles a Thompson, huh?
Like a Thompson, but it's got the pan on top, so it's a
Yes.
Lewis gun
So
or
it's a Lewis gun,
a
so,
dead
but-
care of Russian machine gun. Anyway, that's actually what goes up must come down. That's not entirely unclever.
No, that's
Charles. That's not entirely without some merit.
Yeah.
It'd be out in the field, military purposes,
Right.
but and maybe you can even juice up the 22 rounds a little bit or bore it out a little more. But if you could trace the fire with those tracers, then you could
walk it
dial
in
yourself in on the incoming.
That would be.
The good news is most drones are not moving very fast yet.
And all you need to do is have a platoon of dudes and one guy floating around out there with it.
Very true. Very true.
You may have cracked the code here, Charles, because this is big. This big ticket stuff right now.
Yeah, well, like I said, I thought of the flechette thing a few months back, and I'm thinking, Vietnam, nobody's talking about these flechettes, and I'm thinking, the case is it's against the Geneva Convention and all that, but drones don't know anything about Geneva, so,
right?
Good point. Yeah.
So take them out. But I was thinking for distance penetration.
Which is because some of the drones are being up armored, so that's a legitimate concern.
Yeah.
Listen, come up with a solution for us on the fiber optic cables that they're starting to use, because electronic warfare countermeasures are knocking drones out of the sky, so they've started using fiber optic cables. Come up with a solution for that one, and you're going to be a millionaire by Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Let DARPA know about this.
All right.
Yeah, well, I think that the other thing I know about that AR-80 or something was, I think it was originally German, wasn't it?
Help me out here.
He adopted it. It became so popular over here, and it was. I think it was originally for like a riot control. Believe it or not.
That was the idea originally, as I understand it.
The concept began with the Cazul Model 290. So.
There you go. All right, Charles. Thanks for the call.
All right.
Take care now.
Thanks so much, Charles.
Okay. Well, real quick,
Yes.
because we've mentioned it about 35 times. When you say flechette, we're not talking about Suzanne. Explain.
Thank you. Thank you.
You cannot make me laugh. The ribs are still broken. Suzanne Flechette. Yes, I had a poster of her in my firearms room. A flechette, it's imagine, if you will, a little hardened steel dart in lieu of the conventional buckshot that we were talking about. You pack them tightly into a cylinder, and they would have they would carry momentum further. Because of their streamlined shape, and they would penetrate better if you were dealing with some sort of up-armored.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
So now everybody knows what a Suzanne Flechette is.
And you know what's on that last point and all that, ForgottenWeapons.com has a nice little article about it. A swarm of angry bees, the American 180. A swarm of angry bees. Come on.
Oy. All right, let's get to Cash in Riverside. How are you?
Cash.
Howdy, Gunslinger. Hey, I ran into a guy today. He was looking for, keeping with the theme of the show, a drone gun. He lives down at the beach, and he sees these things coming in off the ocean. And he wanted a particular shotgun that I haven't seen in years, a Remington SP-10 Magnum. 26-inch or 28-inch barrel. Anything like that option?
You know, we either have one coming up or we just sold one. I remember specifically seeing one. So check the catalog. We got a lot of shotguns in February.
That's that big 10 gauge, which is again kills on both ends. I'm telling you.
We've got several 10 gauges. If he doesn't want to go with that, we've got a whole pile of 10 gauges in this auction coming up. So.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
All right, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir.
Trails. God bless.
Thank you.
bless
Same
you,
to you.
Cash.
for calling.
Be safe.
All right. Hey, that opens up some lines. Jimmy, what's the number?
You're going to want to call in right now at 866-870-5752. Once again, that's 866-870-5752.
And you know, my answer to drones of any kind, 416 Barrett.
Engage at greater distance and with absolute terminal effect.
Yeah,
Thank
right.
you kindly,
If
yeah.
it doesn't need to be here, it doesn't need to be here.
Man or unmanned.
Hey, boy, right?
That 416.
That'll also work for the helicopter that was.
Yeah, that was running it off the side. Hey, you're listening to Gunslinger. Guys, we're down to our last half hour already. Give us a call. You got questions, let us know. And we haven't heard, have we gotten a ladies call in?
I don't think so, not yet.
Ooh, Little Lamb Butterfly. I love this song. All right. Hey, we'll be back in just a minute.
B-side.
Yeah, this is a great tune.
Coffee says he's been trying to call in, and the lines are busy.
Well, we've got one or two on hold, but we should be okay. Run in real quick and tell RJ.
Tell RJ
that we got people trying to call in, and it says the lines are busy.
Oh, maybe because he's on the line. Maybe he's actually got a line right now.
Wait, I don't know.
Just keep trying. We only have one man on the phones. One man manning the phones. So 10 gauges. That Colt side by side engraved.
No 10 gauges?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A Colt side by side engraved, factory engraved. No
Yeah,
less.
that's a great tool for a whole different job, like hanging over the mantelpiece with many dollar bills.
Side by side.
Oh, there's a greener in there that's a 10 gauge that I want so bad. It's exposed hammer. It's a side lever.
Oh man.
32-inch Remington Grade B box lock side by side in 10.
No.
Early Winchester.
Ithaca used to have, what was it, Ithaca the road blocker, they called it?
Oh, yeah.
Because that would shoot pretty much through the entire length of the car, especially with a 3.5. Can you, a 3.5-inch 10 gauge Magnum? You got to be talking, that's got to be up there with your Barrett.
Yeah, easily.
And there is no no compensator on that.
No, Jim's on now.
Got it.
Okay.
You got a good deal of 10 gauges on here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, several.
Jeff could be named Bullet, fitting for Gunslinger auctions. And N-Base says, can you imagine the three of us on The View? I would pay ticket money to watch.
Man, I'd pay to be on.
Man, oh man, oh man.
Watch people
I could see
melt.
Me and Whoopi.
Newman Bros side by side, laminated steel, 10 gauge. A lot of these are the greeners, so I don't know how much they want to be putting through those.
No, those are black powder guns.
Yeah.
Here's a fun call. Those of you that have embraced the pleasures of shooting a 10 gauge, why don't you give us a call?
Yeah.
Especially with some goose loads.
Yeah, there you
Tell
go.
me how your shoulders feel. What's that chest look like now?
No. Although with black, it's a different with black powder.
Oh, black powder is a whole different thing. I'm talking about the modern 3.5 inches. But on the other hand, I just saw a picture of the largest polar bear ever taken. It was something like 2,150 pounds.
Jesus.
You got to see this thing.
That's a VW bus.
It's bigger. I'm telling you.
Believe it.
And polar bears are one of the very few animals on planet Earth that actually hunt us.
Yeah.
And the Inuits they'd hunt you for a week.
Oh, they'll keep tracking you. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
and
can.
then that would mean they'd be really hungry when they got to you.
And the water does not defer their sense of smell. So let's imagine that you can't even swim away.
2,100 pounds.
Like truly a monster.
That's a monster. That's a freaking whale. Yeah, different rules out there.
It always kind of freaks me out when they're so like pure white, and then once they get a kill or something,
Yeah, they're wearing the red apron.
Oh, wearing that old crimson outfit. Yes.
Yeah, with a big grin.
Oh man, full bellies.
the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye. That's great. Welcome back, everybody, to Gunslingers right here on
the Gunslinger Syndicated Radio Network.
And yes, that is Jerry Garcia playing slide on that.
And now, those of you that are concerned that this show is not cool enough, holy smokes, I didn't know
Come
that.
on, baby.
Yeah, bigger. I was going to say bigger than, but I can't. Bigger than Jerry Garcia.
Hey,
How's
Doug
that?
said if the three amigos can get on The View, he'll make us a lemon meringue pie.
Ooh. Why are people trying to tempt us with pie all the time?
Well, you know,
it works.
if you make enough of them, I'm sure Whoopi would let us.
Yeah, right? Bring enough for everyone.
I don't know. My first thought was if you're going to go toe-to-toe with her, you're giving away a weight advantage.
Yeah, 100 or 3. Hey, you know what? Our friend in, is it Lipan? What? How do you pronounce it?
Lipan, Texas.
Lipan, Texas. Our old friend Jim. Jim, how the hell are you?
Evening, Jim.
I'm doing great.
Good.
Really enjoying the show. You guys are having a hell of a good time.
Well, we try.
Entertaining as all get out.
Thank you, sir.
I love to hear it.
What's new and exciting out in Texas?
Well, I'm bored, and I'm going to build myself a new toy. I want to build another AR.
Okay.
I was looking for your opinions on uppers, lowers, and actually barrels are going to be a big issue.
18-inch barrel if it's 5.56.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be a range toy, so I think I'm going to go with the 18.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Someday I might put a can on it, but I can always swap the barrel. We
Now,
can
for
do
those
that.
of you who don't know what he's saying because you live in California,
Yes. Yeah, a can is a suppressor,
which we can't have.
Yeah, you can't have them in California.
Not here.
You know, because
welcome to the free state of Texas.
Yeah. We're still behind the Iron Curtain.
Anyway,
hey, I am a life member of CRPA, and I still contribute.
No,
good on you for
appreciate
that.
it.
Absolutely, good on you for that. So what are you building? It's a range toy.
Hopefully, it's just a range toy.
Hopefully,
boy, no kidding.
As far as lowers, you know, is there really that much difference between?
I'll tell you
of
what.
them?
The only reason I would see to up spec a lower, because you're just going to put good parts in it, and because they are a mil spec, they're all going to be pretty good. Fitment is something that you're going to want, but you're going to drop like a Geissele trigger or something like that in it. Yes.
Correct. The only issue that's coming up, though, is that there's some new ambidextrous lowers from ADM and Radical and a couple others.
And that is exactly where I was going with that. Boy, do I like having the bolt release on both sides of the firearm, so you never have to take your right hand off the control group, and you can release that bolt with your right index finger. Huge fan of that.
3 times as expensive, but it might be.
I think it's worth it.
I would agree. Being a lefty.
I'll bet you do. Yeah, I would do that. What about like nitride bolts? Are you going to go gas gun or are you going to go piston gun?
I'm going to go gas on this one. I've got a piston gun. I've got an Anderson piston gun already, which is real good, but it you feel it when you shoot it. So I was going to go.
There's a lot going on up there.
Softer.
Just in case, Pew Pew Tactical's got a pretty good list on parts and builds. Just running through them. They've even got the stock parts and all that, and see what you can start with and all that. But yeah, just if you want to jump on, it's actually a pretty handy guide, so it's pretty nice.
Pew Pew Tactical. Thanks for the heads up.
Of course.
Barrel is where I'm having trouble with, though. I can't think of I've been a fan of Faxons, but I think they're sold out for the next year and a half.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Well, I am. Oh boy, Jim, you know what my expertise is in, and you know AR is not really one of them. But the stuff that I like when I do shoot them, LWRC, it's really hard to go.
LWRC is great.
Yeah. And I don't know if they sell just a barrel. Are you going with it like a complete upper, or you want to build it all yourself?
I'll probably put it together just to do it.
Okay. Because, once you start screwing that barrel in, you better have some, your go, no-go gauges and
head spacing and all that becomes critical.
Yep.
You can't go wrong. Well, you could buy a pre-built upper, which I think where you're going,
Yeah.
right? And let somebody else do the heavy lifting for that.
Yeah.
And if you're going to go top end, you can get like a McGowan barrel or something, but you can't go wrong with Yankee Hill or Noveski.
I believe Wilson Combat is making uppers now, too.
Les Baer, who we both like, also makes.
Wilson Combat's getting their stuff from maybe Noveski.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So if it's good enough for Wilson, it's good enough for me.
Straight up, right?
Good point.
Yeah. So.
And again, Les Baer makes a good gun too now.
Yeah.
And they got
Well, I
kind
hope
of like.
you gentlemen, thank you for your time, and always a pleasure talking to you guys.
And we'll
I hope at least a couple of you can make it out to Land Run coming up. Registration just opened.
Oh, boy.
Well, we'll see you at EOT, yes?
Yeah, EOT.
We will see you at EOT.
EOT is drivable. Land Run's in Oklahoma.
And when you
It's a long
drive there, you're in Oklahoma. No, come on, I'm not dissing Oklahoma. Parts of it are very present.
Oklahoma.
It's just Oklahoma. That's all it is.
Listen, keep us posted on how this build is going. I find this stuff very interesting.
Yeah, Jim, thanks so much.
Will do. I might bring it to, I probably won't have a DOT yet, but we'll get it out there.
All right, and we'll see you next month.
Excellent. Look forward to it.
Very good, Jim. Talk to you then.
God bless you, Jim. Be
Take
safe.
care.
Thanks for the call.
All right.
Oh, there we go. All right. Okay, hey, we got a few more minutes, and we got lines open. What's the number, Jim?
866-870-5752. Once again, that's 866-870-5752. And if you're online at any of our streams right now, on X or YouTube's down, but it will have a video up later, X, Rumble, or YouTube Live, make sure you're liking it, make sure you're subscribed, and make sure you're sharing it, because it helps out the show a ton. Gets it out there even further. And let's build our
Spread the word.
Our YouTube Gunslinger page is almost at 1,000 subscribers. Let's get it there. It's in the mid 800s. Let's bump it up, folks. Let's hit some numbers out there. Let's get the word out. Let's do this for the cause. Come on.
There you go. My problem with the AR, it's such a gun geeky gun.
If you wish to get into the geekiness of it, boy, they make everything for that in every color, shape, style.
Okay, you remember, because Jimmy, you won't, but me and Mark will remember this. In the 70s, they had a thing called the habit trail for hamsters.
Oh, man.
Oh,
yes.
yeah, I know the habit trail. Come on.
Okay, well, that's an AR to me. It's just
Tube
got so
upon
many
tube.
silly tubes that can go here, there, and I look at that, and then I look at a Garand, and I just go, come on.
Sometimes when
Some of the stuff that came in this week, okay, we got an 03A4 with the original Lyman 330 scope.
That came in.
Yeah, that came in. It came in with a 1897 real trench gun, flaming onion and all.
Oh, wow.
And a couple of other just
Those are getting crazy valuable.
I'm telling you, it's just so yeah. The last real trench gun that we had at auction sold for $5,750.
I've seen them go as high as 12.
12,000?
Yeah.
Ooh.
They're getting that exciting.
That's good money for these.
But speaking of the AR, how pretty much customizable it is, I think that's just a sign of the times. Everything's customizable these days. You got your cars, you got this and that.
Well, yeah, and you get your SIGs with all the,
doodad and hoodads.
Yeah, the chinguses, the fungus among us, and the
bells and the whistles.
Yes. You can still build or buy a real good basic gun. Put a good optic on it, and you've got a real good shooter. The problem with me has always been it's a little bit subcalibered, and the things that the government has gone through trying to preserve the format, but not making it better. But we know it needs to be better.
Yeah, and the 223/556, a good solid twig will send it in a different direction.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite ARs, and I had my son Andy build this for me. It's just a stag lower. I think it's a stag upper, and it's in 7.62 by 39.
See, that ain't a bad gun.
No.
Magazine's going to be a chore.
I was going to say the one problem, and they actually have a name for them. They're called Frankenmag.
Frankenmag for the Franken gun.
Because about the first 3 inches comes down straight, and then it bananas out. So that that magazine is very unusual looking, and you can find them. You got to look.
That has to do with the unique properties of the 7.62 cartridge.
Correct.
But that's a pretty happy marriage. I'll tell you what. I like the Ruger Mini 30 also, which is kind of the same idea.
Yeah, good solid gun, not the most accurate firearm.
And not in Bella Whistly as
an AR with all the habit trail pieces.
And that's how you were saying that a lot of them come you got your MP15s and MP30s and all that.
Good basic guns.
Basic guns. Put some great optics on there and all that. You have fantastic shooters out there, and these things are coming practically stock, straight from the factory and all that. And these are all great shooters. So the platform is a solid platform.
It has certainly been refined. It's been the U.S. Army's standard firearms since 67? How many years is that? 70-some years. I think it's the longest-serving rifle.
I believe you're
in
right.
American military history.
Yeah, and
who'd have thought?
And you got your different levels. You got your higher end stock ones. What is it, the Spartan or you got a few of those.
Yeah, with the faces and the.
Yeah,
all those things are a little silly.
Yeah, but I mean,
I like the shark one.
Yes.
So you
have all these that are coming just as cool as you want them to already. But you know what? As a platform, a lot of people like to shoot. And again, because of the caliber and all that, it's not a terror to shoot.
Nobody's volunteering to stand in front of it. Let there be no doubt about that. But there is modest muzzle blast. There is modest recoil. Yeah. And you can ring still 300, 400, 500 yards.
That's true. All right, you're listening. You know what? We're coming into our last segment.
No way.
Yeah, we
just got here.
Our friend Brent from LA.
Yay.
We'll get to him. We got Charles in Carlsbad. We'll get to you right after Brent, and we'll get back right after this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so question: bug out rifle. You take one. You're going to take a rifle, a shotgun, a pistol. Which is a fun conversation for us to have one of these weeks, but
boy, oh boy, oh boy! Oh my God, our phones are blowing up now.
That's of course.
Yeah, a bug-out rifle.
See, the lightweight ammunition, which is of course why the military went to it.
Well, I was going to say would probably be a Ruger 1022 takedown.
That ain't wrong.
Wow.
That ain't wrong. You can take 5,000 rounds.
Yeah.
And just throw it in the backpack and off you go.
It comes with a backpack. Bless their heart.
It does. And you can break it down and
toss
into a pool case.
Yeah. And then for a pistol, gunslingerauctions.com. Gunslingerauctions.com. That's gunslingerauctions.com. Segment already.
My
and
goodness.
let's jump right into Brent from LA. Brent, how are you?
Shalom, Brent.
Hello, my fine friends and great American patriots.
God bless
Thank
you,
you,
Brent.
sir.
Always good to hear from you.
My humor has been strained this week.
Understood.
Boy, I'm sorry.
I am no longer interested in discussing recalls against California's mass murdering progressive Democrat SS officer Gavin New-Nazi and Fidel Castro's Cuban communist conspirator Karen bigoted barbarian Bass.
Yeah.
I demand criminal indictments, prosecutions, and incarcerations for them and their sadistic, sociopathic city supervisors and city council to start. And since I'm unaware of any honest California district attorneys, I implore President Trump and his new DOJ to send FBI SWAT teams to their homes like Biden's traitorous DOJ did at Mar-a-Lago and America's righteous January 6th patriots. And these true Confederate insurrectionists must be charged with mass murder, multi-billion-dollar RICO crimes, malfeasance, fraud, and crimes against humanity.
Couldn't agree more.
You can incur murder charges from neglect from the elderly and children, and if you, that means that you have you get to oversee these people, and because you neglected them, these things occur. That's what's happened to the state.
Yeah, and you know, Brent, something you won't ever hear even on Fox News. If you got a couple of these guys and really put it to them, they would roll over on everybody. You really want to clean the swamp? This is how you do it. You get a couple of these people and you charge them with treason, which is a death penalty offense.
Can be.
And you watch how quick all of a sudden they're pointing fingers in 50 freaking directions.
We're seeing it happen here in California, right?
Precisely. And I wasn't just thinking about this because of this last week. What about the COVID deaths? What about the fentanyl deaths? What about the sex slavery? They have so many crimes. The criminality and corruption is so rampant. It's just nauseating.
Oh yes,
couldn't agree
and
more.
it's at every angle. Like if they can make it, if they can do the crime, they will. It's like you don't have to give the opportunity. They're going to take it upon themselves to make these things.
Yep,
that's a good sentence.
Reality, it's sad. It's very, very sad.
Okay, we get that off our chest.
This is how you're going to cheer us up, Brent?
I'm sorry to bring down the...
No, it's okay.
No,
I completely understand.
Difficult times.
Anyway, Brent, thanks for the call. We'll talk to you next week, and we'll have a funner chat. Okay, talk to you then.
Brent. Great talk.
Okay, let's jump over to Charles in Carlsbad. Charles, what can we do for you?
Well, I was just wondering earlier, you guys had a call your senator or call your Republican, you know, your Democrat, whatever it happens to be, whatever rat you have that you want. And I wondered if I could get that again because my pen went off on me.
No problem. It's BillBlasterApp.org. So
BILL.
Bill Blaster.
App, A-P-P.
.org. So
.org. That is so cool.
Yeah, and if you're on, if you have access to a computer, it's still on a Rumble stream. I'll go ahead and put it back up there again. We'll try to put it on their YouTube stream just in case anyone wants to link. Pretty much visible for them right there. They can go ahead and do that there. So
I would think they would, because after all, us people here in the People's Leftern Fascist Republican Socialist Democrat quack, Catholic and Fornicationistan, once known as the Golden State, now simply known as a gobby sod.
Yeah,
I think we'd like to get, all of our people in Washington.
Wash them down.
Where the call goes? Washington?
Yeah.
Oh, that place back east.
All right. Charles, we're running out of time. Thanks for the call.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk to you later.
Noonie forever.
All right. Take care.
Be safe. God bless.
Okay, really quick. We got Edward in Riverside. Ed, what can we do for you?
Good evening.
Greetings, gentlemen. I just was hearing about this Bill Blaster app. Is that for referencing legislation?
Is actually to talk to your
accessing your political officials.
Yep. Get in contact with them.
Thank you.
Reach out and touch them.
Well, the question that I had was, you were talking about ARs versus the Mini 30 and Mini 14. And I have a Mini 14, and I'm pretty satisfied with it, and I've never cared for the AR platform. It seems like, the ARs are pretty accurate, but they've always had this reliability problem, and they spent lots and lots of effort with metallurgy and all sorts of things, and they wouldn't fix the basic problem, which was the direct impingement design. So that's my opinion. You're welcome to.
I wouldn't disagree with you. I think a Mini 14 and a Mini 30 probably shoot every bit as good as they are.
Absolutely.
And most of them shoot better than most of us, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay. You were mentioning that they're not as accurate, and and well, I haven't had any any objection to the accuracy of my Mini. But
You're getting to how many angels can dance on the head of a pin. You can buy a factory-built sub-MOA AR-15, and there are people that need that accuracy and want that accuracy. But again, for most of us, if you're just going out plinking, the Mini 14 will be just fine for most folks.
Great design.
All right, Ed.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Are you going to have some Mini 30s in your next auction?
I don't think so. We have a lot of high-end shotguns and hunting rifles in the next auction. I don't think we have any minis coming.
But they
up.
often do come up in your auctions.
April and June, check those.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll have
coming down
more
to the
than that.
shop.
All right, Ed. Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Okay, really quick. Let's get to Kent in Arizona. Kent, what can we do for you?
Evening, Kent.
Hey, I listened to you guys for the last 6 months and stuff. I'm over here in Arizona, and I bid on a 30-30.
Okay.
And if I win the bid, you guys ship it out to an FFL dealer in Arizona. So that's all good. That's the way it works out. Correct.
Correct. Yeah. Well,
All right,
what we'll do
that's-
is a day after auction, you'll get an invoice in your email, and it'll give you our Gunslinger auctions at yahoo.com, and then you send have your FFL dealer, that's Federal Firearms Licensee, have him send his FFL with your bidder number on there, and we start shipping literally day after
Day
auction.
after, yeah. And you guys do all the heavy lifting.
Yeah. So we'll get it out pretty quick.
Good deal. That's fantastic, guys.
Thank you.
Keep up the show. I love listening to it in Arizona, and keep it up, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, man.
We love
Good
having
luck on the
listeners
auction.
out there.
Yeah. Good luck at your 30-30. Take care now. Bye-bye. Okay. Wow, that was a nice one to end on.
I want Kent to get his 30-30.
I hope he does. Wow. We blew through 2 hours again.
We were at the 1 hour point. I go, what?
I know.
Right.
The fastest 2 hours in my week.
Yep.
Listen, I wanted to spend a moment talking about Nasty Nick.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I thought that was worthy of a mention.
Yeah.
And those of us in the cowboy community, and you worked with him quite
I have
closely.
known Andy. Yeah, Andy Cobble was his real name. Nasty Nick was his shooting name. He was the owner of Walker 47 in was it? Well, they were on Beach Boulevard in Hobby City for a long, long time, and then they moved to Fullerton, and they were next to See's Candy, and then they finally got out of that lease, and they went to another place, and then Andy retired. It's been about 7-8 years now, but yeah, Andy passed this week, and I've known Andy for, holy cow, 27 years. He was on my group that we always shot together. Right. There was about 20 of us for a long time. I'm talking years that we always shot together every month at Rahagis with the Kodo Cowboys. And Andy was, I've started a lot of people in cowboy shooting, but I don't think I hold a candle to how many Andy started.
Yeah. And that store was one of the go-tos.
It really was.
The whole sport started.
You could buy your guns there. He had clothes there. He had boots. Yep. He had Dan the engraver there for so long. He had old Lonesome there to fix your guns. I mean, it was a one-stop shop, and it's sad for all of us.
I always enjoyed my interactions with him, and it is sad. So just wanted to send out our best to him and his family.
And heck of a guy. You bet. Absolutely. So. Okay, and now I'm depressed, and I don't remember what I was going to say.
No, there's no depression. There's no depression. It's not getting dark at 3:45 anymore.
Okay. Really quick, I want to give a big shout out to the world famous Double R Bar regulators. I shot out there today, all the way out in Lucerne Valley, right there next to the old Roy Rogers Ranch, hence the Double R Bar.
Double R.
And had a lot of fun. Shot with a lot of great folks.
Moose offered to even take me out there because the car got destroyed.
I heard, yeah,
and which was very, very cool to him. But the ribs,
and Moose was on fire today. He was shooting a storm. That guy is. You have to see it to really believe it. He is so fast with a single action. Yeah, a single action in each hand shooting.
Yep.
It is almost.
And his rifle is ridiculous.
Oh.
And he is using large calibers.
Yeah, 45.
Yeah.
Next time you shoot with him, make sure you get a video. We'll get it on during
I tell
the
you,
show.
yeah,
'cause
you know
that's
what?
a
We'll
sight.
have to do that.
That's
I
a
left my
sight.
phones in the car, so I didn't get video of anything. And a couple of the stages, I didn't want video. Oh man, it was a fun day. Great stages, like I said, and
I'll make it out next time.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody for putting up with me, and anyway. Oh yeah. Well, we got a minute left.
I'm just reminding you. I didn't get the paper out. So.
Again, everybody, prayers out to everybody who's
affected by
this fire. Yeah, we don't want to forget that, and hopefully everything's going to be okay there. And speaking of Leon, don't forget to smile. Just little curves. That's everything straight.
The legend.
All right. We're done. We're out
you
of here.
guys.
I really got to pee. So
God bless you all.
next week or hear you
Goodbye,
next week.
everybody.
Best audience on radio.
I'm running down.